This is going to be a totally different type of video for my channel. I want to talk about my fitness journey, my weight loss journey, and how I've lost 38 pounds and counting since 2024. I hope you like the chill setup today. I really just wanted to sit and talk to the camera today without the distraction of makeup, because you guys know me as a makeup channel, but health and fitness has become a really big part of my life over these last 5 years, and I haven't really shared a lot of it. And I've been going to the gym consistently since 2019, but just this last year in 2024, it just finally clicked for me on how to actually lose weight. And honestly, I'm just really proud of myself and I want to share that with you guys. So what kind of clicked for me in 2024 was kind of shifting my mindset and focusing on building healthy habits that are sustainable and that I can do long term. To lose the weight, I did not overly restrict myself. I didn't do a crazy amount of cardio. I didn't do any kind of weight loss drugs. It was literally healthy, sustainable habits, and that's what I want to talk about today. This kind of goes without saying, but obviously this is my personal journey and what has worked for me and my body. I am not a professional. I am not a doctor. I'm just a normal girl who fell in love with the gym, and I get a lot of my information from online and just other creators and personal trainers that I know and follow. So I kind of hope that by you hearing my journey, maybe this inspires you, maybe something clicks for you, or you just learn a helpful tip or trick or something. This is probably going to be a pretty long video, so I will leave timestamps down below for you because I'm just gonna chat and ramble. I have 9 pages of notes in front of me because I really just wanted to get kind of everything out there. So I wanted to start by giving you guys some background on just my fitness and just kind of where I started. So growing up as a kid, I was so unathletic. I played soccer in my middle school soccer team and that was fun, but I was the slowest runner on that team. I was always out of breath. I was always having a hard time. I was the worst at the pacer test and the mile and just all the fitness stuff you do in PE class. I just was not good at that stuff. But also growing up, my body was just naturally more on the lean side. I'm also pretty tall. I'm 5'11". So I guess growing up, I looked skinny, but I was not fit at all. I remember throughout high school and college, I would just randomly go to the gym here and there, just kind of as something to do, but I didn't really have any goals. There was one point where I just wanted to be able to run a mile without walking, so I did that. So then in my early 20s after college, I'm 28 now by the way, it was around 2019 and I was just feeling a little bit uncomfortable in my body and I decided to make the decision to be a bit more consistent in the gym. And what was kind of that turning moment for me, I remember this exactly. I was on a trip to California with my mom. I was going to IMATS for the very first time with my mom. It was my graduation little girls trip we were doing. It was a super fun trip, but I remember we were eating out for every single meal, and by the end of that trip I just felt so bloated and gross just in my body. And at that point my weight was at the highest it has been. This was also the first time I was living not at my parents' house, so I had an apartment with an ex at the time. So I was just eating whatever I wanted. I was also drinking a lot. I would just drink a lot of wine at home, honestly. And I was also noticing some new stretch marks on my outer thighs. So I just wasn't feeling great in my body, so I made a decision, let me start going to the gym. So I joined my nearest Planet Fitness in the beginning of 2019 and I became obsessed with the treadmill. And I feel everyone kind of goes through a cardio bunny phase where it's just all you do is cardio, because I think that's what we hear a lot just for weight loss is oh, you need to do all this cardio, right? So I would try to do 30-40 minutes on the treadmill, 2 to 4 miles, and I would always take a picture of the treadmill after I was done with my workouts. I have so many photos in my phone of just pictures of my treadmill screen because to me it was so rewarding just saying, oh, I did 30 minutes and I did 3 miles in that time. And also at that time I think I would do some of the easy looking weight machines, the leg press, that one's pretty simple, or the abduction and adduction machines where you open and close your legs. You see a lot of people do those are easy to do. So I had my little gym routine, but I still didn't really know what I was doing. So I started to follow more fitness content creators and I would see a lot of them posting about lifting weights. And again, I was always kind of intrigued by it, but I just had no idea where to start. So I bought one of the creators' workout program. The first program I bought in 2019, it was called TFN Team by Abby Pollock. And it was a pretty good introduction into weightlifting and had, structured workouts. And again, I didn't really know what I was doing, why I was doing these workouts. My form was probably shit, but I really enjoyed it and I could tell I was getting stronger. And by following a program, it kind of had me step outside of my comfort zone in the gym a bit because I had to try new machines and do new things with dumbbells. And I remember being absolutely terrified going into the dumbbell section of Planet Fitness where, usually all the men are there. Like, I remember feeling very intimidated and scared in that area. I was also terrified of the Smith machine. It took so much courage for me the very first time I tried the Smith machine. Like, I made sure no one was around to watch me try this machine for the first time. And so like that was a big moment for me, but it really did help me build confidence over time. So then later in 2019, I bought another influencer's workout program that seemed like a bit more serious to me, and that was Stephanie Buttermore's program. And so at this point, I was consistently going to the gym, following these workouts, but I really didn't know a lot about how to build muscle. So I had a consistent gym routine, and I was also trying to track my calories around that time, but it just never worked for me. I never ended up losing weight, and also by the end of 2019, I ended up gaining 10 pounds, but I do think a lot of that was muscle because that was my first year ever of lifting weights. But I was feeling good about myself overall, and I was happy with like this new hobby that I found. And one thing about me is that when I get interested in a hobby or a new activity or just a new topic, like I want to learn as much as I can about that topic. And so I spent a lot of my free time just watching people's workout videos. I spent a lot of time watching correct form for movements, learning what lifts are working each muscles. So I was trying to get a lot of knowledge on my own. So now we're in 2020, and at this point I felt like I was ready to upgrade my gym a little bit because Planet Fitness only has Smith machines, and I really wanted to start doing some barbell work. I wanted to learn how to squat, how to deadlift. And so I switched from Planet Fitness to Crunch Fitness. And I remember the first time getting under a barbell, I was like, this is the shakiest thing ever. Like, how the hell are you steady under a barbell? So in 2020, I bought another workout program, and this time I bought Bret Contreras's Booty by Bret program, which, spoiler, is a program that I followed for like 3 years. So I do highly, highly recommend his program. Also in 2020, I met my now ex. He was a trainer at that gym I was going to, and he was a personal trainer for like 10 years. And so once him and I got together, he gave me so much knowledge with fitness and working out, and like, I appreciate that so much. So with my ex's knowledge, Bret's knowledge, just the people I follow, the research I'm doing online, I was learning more about just like hypertrophy and just how to really build muscle. I loved working out, going to the gym, and lifting weights. But during this time, while I'm lifting weights, I'm still just kind of eating whatever I want. Like, I ate out a lot. I'm still drinking quite a bit of alcohol at home. I didn't really know proper nutrition. My ex was kind of helping with that, but I was also just like snacking a lot. So in 2020, my weight was around 200 pounds, but just like every year after that, my weight just kept going up and up. Yes, I was putting more muscle on my body and I was getting stronger, but there was also quite a bit of fat as well. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit to mid 2023. My weight hit 223 pounds, which was a high for me. So I did try to lock in my nutrition and track my calories and macros, and I think I lost maybe 5 pounds, but it just never stuck. It never clicked. And it felt like I was trying so hard, and I was like, why is this not working? And I was totally getting burnt out on it. And then by the end of 2023, my weight hit the highest point which it has ever been, which was 227 pounds. So at that weight, I never really like hated my body, but I knew that my weight has only been going up and up. I was also really strong at this point. I was hip thrusting over 400 pounds. I could deadlift over 225, hit a bench PR of 125 at that time. So like, I felt strong, but I also just felt large and a little bit uncomfortable in my body, you know. And it was like every time I went clothes shopping, oh, I have to buy a bigger size, and I was having to buy more plus size clothing because, you know, an extra large wasn't big enough, so I had to get a double XL, and I was just getting bigger even though I was still working out consistently. And so towards the end of 2023 is when I just made this decision. I was like, I need to lock in my nutrition because I have this habit down of going to the gym. I love lifting weights. I have that part down, but I didn't have the nutrition down at all. Like, straight up, going to the gym is the easy part about like losing weight, living a healthy lifestyle. The hard part is nutrition, 100%. At least for me it is. And I really just wanted to lose fat to be able to visibly see the muscles that I've spent, you know, 4 or 5 years building at this point. So towards the end of 2023, I decided, okay, I need to lock in. And so I decided to download a habit tracker app. And this is kind of what changed the entire game for me. And if you take anything away from this video, it's gonna be be your habits and the things that you do daily and consistently that are going to get you to where you want to be. Okay, let's talk habits, and I want to share kind of my thought process behind these habits and why I tracked them. So in the fitness world, when people talk about losing weight, they talk about doing diets, right? There is always a new fad diet going on. People are always trying it, you know, maybe for a few weeks, maybe for a month or two. The majority of the time, diets fail. So I knew that going into tracking my habits, I didn't want to do a diet. I still wanted to eat the food that I like to eat. Like, I love eating cheeseburgers. I love pasta. I love pizza. I think to myself, why would I cut out all of these things for like a 2-month period, let's say, to lose 5 pounds, and then what? And then what? So what I've seen happen a lot to people in my life, friends and family, is that they'll go on a certain diet because they want to lose X amount of weight. So for example, let's say the keto diet. So someone wants to lose 20 pounds. They go on the keto diet. They're trying really freaking hard for like 2-3 months. They lose 10 pounds. They're feeling good. And then they're like, great, I hit my goal. I can stop doing keto. But then you gain all the weight back, plus more. Because for a while in the beginning, you're super motivated to lose the weight, especially like in those first couple weeks. That's all you think about. You are putting 100% of your effort into losing this weight, right? And you're pushing yourself in the gym, but you're also trying to eat as little as possible because you just want the number on the scale to go down. I've also seen people set New Year's resolutions where they say, I'm gonna work out every single day this year. And it's like, no, you're not. Like, that is just not realistic for the majority of people who don't already work out. And by setting that crazy of a goal, like, you're just automatically setting yourself up for failure. I'm also gonna talk a little shit about 75 hard really quick. I know that 75 hard has worked out well for some people, but I think the whole mindset of it is like, you need to do all of these habits every single day for 75 days. And if you mess up once or twice, oh, you failed. You have to start over. Like, you got to start at 0. That's not realistic. Like, that's just not human to me. Like, it just does not make sense to go all in for a set period of time to lose the weight. And then what? And then what? I think a lot of people are just way too strict and harsh on themselves with weight loss. Like, we're fucking human, life happens, events come up, things go wrong, things go great. Like, you have to have some kind of like leniency here. So with all of that being said, that's why I wanted to track my habits. I saw something called the 80-20 rule floating around Instagram. I couldn't tell you exactly where I found it. So what 80-20 kind of means, at least to me, is that 80% of the time you are making good choices that are good habits that are going to get you towards your goals. And then the other 20% gives you flexibility to enjoy your life. And this made so much sense to me because trying to be perfect 100% of the time is just never gonna work out, and that's also just not realistic. And I think that's why a lot of people give up, because they weren't perfect that day. They had a donut at work. Oh my gosh, this ruined all my progress. They went out to dinner for someone's birthday. Oh, guess I gotta give up now. Like, why are you giving up over a donut or a meal? But by shifting to this 80-20 mindset, it just gives you that flexibility. Now we're finally getting to like what I actually did. I'm so sorry it took so long to get here. I know I'm talking a lot and I'm rambling. So I took 80-20 very literally with my habit tracker app. So going into 2024 with my new habit tracker app, I asked myself, what are the habits that I can do daily that are going to help me get towards my goal, which in this case was losing fat. And another thing that helped my mindset is that I never had a goal weight. Because if you were to tell me beginning of 2024, Angela, you need to lose 40 pounds, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that sounds so freaking hard. How am I gonna do that? Or if you told me, Angela, you need to follow your healthy habits consistently 80% of the time. Okay, that sounds doable, right? Because with the scale, you can't really control the number on the scale. Also because there are so many fluctuations that happen day to day, especially if you're a woman. So while I can't control the scale number, I can control my habits and what I am actively doing. So going into 2024, you know, it's a new year, we got some New Year's resolutions, and my only goal for January was to hit at least 80% consistency on my habits and also complete dry January. Because I really just wanted to see what would happen if I committed to 80% for 30 days. Not trying to be 100% perfect, giving myself some wiggle room. Let's see what happens, right? And I hit 87% consistency, which to this day is still the highest that I've ever hit. And I lost 5 pounds that January. And 5 pounds down in a month is fantastic progress. Like, that is a very healthy amount of weight loss. And that itself is so motivating. Just seeing that first 5 pounds down, I was like, okay, I can do this. I just need to stick with my habits. So now you're probably yelling at me, Angela, what are the habits that you followed? So let me tell you. So I started with these 8 habits: track food, nutritious breakfast, nutritious lunch, nutritious dinner, good snacking, protein shake, drink 120 ounces of water, and move body. Now, seeing that all together, you're like, whoa, that is a lot of things you're trying to track. But again, I'm not trying to be 100% perfect. These are the habits that I wanted to build up and get better at. So let's break these down a little bit because they are kind of vague, but it is what worked for me. Tracking food. So for tracking my food, I used an app called Lose It, and I way prefer that over MyFitnessPal. So I used an online macro calculator that I will link down below, and my ex's just guidance and assistance to figure out the range of calories that I needed to eat in and the macros that I needed to hit. So the goal was never to eat as little as possible. The goal was to eat enough food to fuel myself for my workouts and also prioritize protein for building muscle. So during this time, I was eating around 2,000 to 2,400 calories a day. And so to check off this habit of tracking my food, I just had to track my food for the day. Even if I ate McDonald's that day, because I love McDonald's, one thing about me, like, I can go for a Big Mac and a French fry and a Coke. I would eat that, but I would still track it because I just wanted to get into that habit of tracking my food. And by doing that, you see what the food you're eating is. Like, you see how many calories it is and how it's not that nutritious. And you're like, oh, that is really high in fat, or that was more calories than I thought it was going to be. So even if I went over my calories for that day, if I tracked my food, great, gold star. I checked off that habit. And then I had nutritious breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that could mean different things to different people, but here's what it meant for me. I would check this off if my meal was a balanced meal that was higher in protein, still had carbs, I love my carbs, and had fats as well. I would say that the majority of the meals I cook at home are nutritious, so those were pretty easy to check off. But also, even if I was like going out to eat and like instead of getting my cheeseburger and fries that I absolutely love, maybe I made a better choice. Maybe I got chicken, mashed potatoes, and broccoli, and that would be a nutritious meal for me. So it just kind of means like, did I make good choices for that meal? Good snacking was one I had to track because my ex and I would just eat so many snacks at night, you know, laying in bed, eating cookies, eating chips. It was a great time and it would get a little bit out of control. So I set the habit of good snacking, and what that looked like for me was still eating my snacks, but eating reasonable snacks throughout the day. You know, things like yogurt and fruit, and then at nighttime when I did want like my little sweet treat, I did this for months. I would eat a chocolate chip cookie and a bag of goldfish every single night, and that was my good snack because like they fit perfectly into my macros. It was delicious. I had something sweet and something salty, and eating my cookie and goldfish every night was good snacking for me. Next habit is protein shake. This one is nice and simple. It is literally drink a protein shake a day. So again, I'm trying to build muscle, so I need a lot of protein, and I found that the easiest way for me to hit my protein macro goal was to have a protein shake a day. And this was also kind of just an easy one to check off. Like, how easy is it to, you know, spend a minute drinking a protein shake a day? And there was also a point where I had a 47-day protein shake streak, and I just kept being like, oh, I don't want to break my streak. Let me have my protein shake. I had drink water as one of my habits. I try to drink at least 1 to 2 of these a day. These are the hydro drugs. I believe it's 64 ounces in here. But that was a habit I needed to build up, was just getting used to drinking a lot of water. And then the last habit was move body. So this meant a lot of different things for me. It could be I went to the gym that day. Great, move body. Maybe if I didn't gym, I took Rue for a 30-minute walk. Great, moved my body. Or I did a yoga or Pilates video class at home. I also used to do a lot of editing while walking on my walking pad at home, and like I would walk for like an hour and a half and get so many steps in. So to me, that counted as moving my body. So those are the habits that I tracked, and there were days where I was absolutely perfect. I hit every single habit. I get a gold star for the entire day. Cool. But there were also days where I only checked off a couple habits. Maybe I couldn't move my body that day. Maybe I went out to dinner with my family, so I didn't have a nutritious dinner, but that's okay because I had a nutritious breakfast and lunch. There were also days that were just like really mentally hard where all I could do was just drink a protein shake, and that was my one habit tracked for the day. But the point was to keep going, keep showing up, and keep tracking my habits. I just want to quickly show you my habit tracker on the screen right here because I'm someone who really loves like data and numbers, and like it was just really visually appealing for me as well. So you can see here in January of 2024, you can see on some of the days have a little crown on them, and those are days where I hit 100% perfect on my habits. You can see my monthly rate was 87%, like I said, and I had 17 perfect days that month, which is kind of crazy. Here is February, so you can see I hit 77% consistency. Even if you look on February 3rd, I can see that was a Saturday. I didn't do any dang habits that day. Must have been a crazy day, I guess. But you can see that day after that Sunday, I tried again. Monday, I tried again, and I just kept trying every single day. Same thing looking at March, 77%. I had 11 perfect days, but not every day had to be perfect. So like I said, with that 87% consistency in January, I lost 5 pounds, and then February and March, where I both had 77%, I lost 3 pounds each month. So by the end of March, I had lost my first 10 pounds, and it was feeling easier and easier to just do these habits daily and to check them off. So I track all of my workouts and everything in just like a notes diary app, and I have this note that I wrote when I lost my first 10 pounds. So I wanted to read that to you if that's okay. You've officially lost 10 pounds, more like 11 pounds today, LOL. I think this is the first time I've ever actually stuck to losing weight and lost more than a few pounds. Here's what I'm doing and what's helping. Really limited alcohol. After doing dry January, I just didn't see a point in continuing to drink at home. I still drink when I go out, but that's not often. Currently have a wine bottle on the counter that's been open for 2 weeks now that I don't even think about. Dry January really did help me so much. Highly recommend doing it if you haven't tried. Tracking habits. Really trying to stay in 80% plus completion. Getting back on track after one bad day / meal, but also not beating myself up if I have an off day. Just keep going. Not panicking when the scale doesn't move how I want. After seeing the spikes with these 10 pounds, I now understand how normal it is, and if your weight seems stuck, just keep going. Protein shakes plus overnight oats help a ton for my protein. Sticking to my lifting program. I added 1 to 2 cardio days a week because I actually enjoy it. It's a nice break from lifting and it feels good to be all sweaty. It's also easier to do cardio when you're lighter, LOL. I still eat out and eat some junk food here and there, just not as often as I used to. I'm not trying to be 100% perfect. And you can see the date up top there as March 23rd, 2024. I do want to talk about tracking weight really quick. There's this fitness guy I followed for a long time online. His name is Jordan Syatt, and I really liked following him because he kind of just has like a no bullshit approach to things. And one thing that really stuck with me is that he says that your weight is data, and just kind of how it doesn't make sense to stress so much about your weight on the day-to-day basis. Again, just because it can fluctuate so freaking much. And there was definitely a time in my life where I would step on the scale, see the number, and I would be pissed and it would just like ruin my day. But by viewing it as just a data point, that really helped me. And so I would weigh myself every single day, but I'm not like stressing about the tiny changes day to day. What I would be tracking is my weekly average weight. So going back to my notes app here is exactly what I did and what it looks like. I would write down the week, and I think at the end of the week on Saturday, I would do the calculation, you know, add up all my weights divided by the number of days. That was my average weight for that week. And you can see I'd even write like little notes to myself, like new numbers that I'm seeing on the scale or how I'm feeling. So I kind of knew that I didn't need to stress looking at the scale number every day because I would get so excited to go to Saturday and to be able to calculate my weekly average weight. And if it was even just a little bit less than the week before, I know I'm doing something right. So I'll kind of scroll through here, and like even here in February, you can see I didn't really have a huge change. One week I wrote had a lot going on this week, so I didn't eat amazing. But I kept going. I'm feeling super strong. I saw a new low number on the scale. My boyfriend was calling me tiny this week. Weight is moving down and things are feeling easier. So anyways, the point of that was that I was just looking at my weekly average weight, not the number day by day, because it changes like this. It's crazy. Back to my timeline. It's end of March. I lost my first 10 pounds. My weight was around 215 and I felt really solid around this weight. I felt good. I liked how I looked. So I decided to kind of just take a little step back from tracking, like physically tracking, just to also give myself a little bit of a mental break too. So for the next like 5 months, I didn't really track my habits, but I still maintained the habits that I built. I was still having a protein shake a day. I was still moving my body. And because of that, I was able to maintain the weight that I was at for about 5 months. So I relaxed a little bit through the summer, but then towards the end of 2024, I had some like special events coming up. My brother's wedding was coming up. I had a photo shoot. So I thought to myself, okay, let me lock in again and like get back to tracking, get back on it. But this time when I was tracking my habits, I made it a little bit easier on myself. Like I didn't need to track my water intake anymore because I was already drinking 2 of these a day. I didn't need to track my protein shake anymore because that was just already ingrained in me, which is kind of the point, right? Of building a healthy habit. So then I lost another 8 pounds from August to November. And just kind of mentally, and as I was tracking on my notes app, I kind of just took everything 5 pounds at a time. You know, I'd write down when I see new low weights on the scale and just 5 pounds. Like instead of setting this big giant goal of, oh my gosh, I need to lose 40 pounds. Again, that sounds so scary and so unobtainable, but 5 pounds at a time, 80% consistency, I can do that. So then towards November of 2024, I was officially down 20 pounds. And to me, that was crazy. I was like, I can't believe I lost 20 pounds. And it felt like I didn't really have to try that hard because just doing these habits got easier and easier. And so for me, getting to that weight of 205 was a really big milestone. And it was November, so I decided to, again, take a step back from tracking my habits because the holidays are coming up. You know, other stuff is going on, so I don't need to physically track my habits, but again, I'm still doing the stuff. But what happened in the beginning of December is that my 4-year relationship ended. And when I am emotionally not okay, I have no appetite and I literally do not eat. So just within that first week of the breakup, I lost 5 pounds. And that was really mentally hard for me at the time because, you know, I've spent this entire year building up these healthy habits and building muscle and losing weight in like a healthy way. And then just to lose 5 pounds in a week, it kind of felt like I cheated my way to, you know, weighing 200 pounds, which was another big milestone. So then during the beginning part of the breakup, you know, I'm trying my best to take care of myself. And unfortunately, with all this knowledge that I had, I knew that I couldn't go to the gym because I knew I would just have shitty ass workouts I wouldn't be able to perform because I was not eating. You can't go to the gym and work out if I'm lightheaded and not eating. So this was the first time in like 5 years that I took like 2 to 3 weeks off from the gym. So I didn't really do any lifting, but I did do lots and lots of walking outside. But once that first like initial shock of the breakup kind of wore off and I was kind of eating more, my appetite was coming back. I did go back to the gym, of course. And then I was finally able to use some of that emotional distress and anger and sadness to fuel my workouts, and that was really nice. And that brings us to end of December. So from January to December, I lost 27 pounds. So then January of this year, you know, I'm just trying to get back into a new routine. And then once February hit, I was like, okay, I'm ready to track again. Like I want to get serious, you know, because I'm not in a relationship. I have all the time and energy in the world right now to focus on me and my body. And sometimes I like to give myself like little rewards. And so for February, I told myself if I hit 80% consistency, I get to buy a new gym outfit. And so I hit 82% consistency and I got a new gym outfit. So February was kind of the last month that I like physically tracked my food, my macros, my habits. And so now March, and now we're at the end of April, I have not tracked anything, but I am still losing weight. It is at a little bit of a slower pace now, but again, I've never really had just like a strict goal scale number. And I'm kind of at this point now where I don't need to track because I did it for so long and all of these habits are so ingrained in me, and it really does feel like my lifestyle has completely shifted. Like if I were to look at the way that I moved and the food that I ate in 2023 versus now in 2025, it's completely different and it doesn't feel hard anymore because it truly is my lifestyle. Like once you start tracking, you kind of start start to realize what a good day of eating looks like and what are the foods that do fit into your calories and your macros and the foods that make you feel good. And honestly, I feel really freaking good right now. My eating is solid, my workouts are solid, I'm sleeping fantastic, and like I just feel like a healthy person. I started this year 2025 at 200 pounds and I am officially around 188 right now, which is absolutely crazy to me. I haven't weighed below 190 in 6 years. And I'm just like so happy and so proud of myself for getting to this point. And I feel like I did it in a very sustainable, healthy way, because there was one thing I would ask myself a lot doing this, like, can I see myself doing this for the rest of my life? Yes. Because again, the whole goal with the 80-20 is not to be 100% perfect. It's giving yourself that life and that flexibility. I also just spend a lot of my time right now just thinking about the gym, thinking about my workouts. I have some new like fitness goals. I did my first push-up this month. I can do 2 push-ups now, like a real push-up. Like I really do just love fitness and the gym and living this healthy lifestyle, and it really is like, it's my life now. And I know that I'm still losing fat and gaining muscle because I am seeing some muscles that I've never seen before. Like my arms like low-key have some shape to them at the gym. I was doing my workout today and I was like, whose shoulders are these? Like these are not mine. And honestly, going to the gym is my favorite part of the day. Like I love getting to pick out my workout clothes the night before. I make my coffee, I make my oats. I wake up the next morning, put on my cute gym fit, grab my Alani Nu energy drink. I have my hip hop music and my headphones, and I'm just like vibing and just focused on myself in the gym, and I freaking love it. And really the goal right now is just to keep going. I have some other like fitness goals I'd like to reach. I'd like to do more push-ups. That'd be great. I would love to get a pull-up one day. That would be crazy. I'm nowhere near that. So that is kind of the gist of how I lost the weight. So I think if you were to take anything away from this video, it would be your habits and consistency. You know, find habits that will help you get towards your goals and stick to it. Keep showing up, be consistent, but know that you don't have to be 100% perfect. It's okay and totally normal to fumble a little bit. Like fitness and weight loss, you know, you hear this all the time, like it's a marathon, not a sprint. Like this is a lifetime thing. Like I want to be in a healthy body for my life, not just for a quick 3-month period. Okay, I have rambled so much, but I really hope that this video made sense to you. I definitely could do a more in-depth video on like more specific things, because like I didn't really talk about, you know, like the foods I ate or what I ate in a day or the people that I followed that help motivate me now, or just other tips and tools that I have used. Let me know if you guys want to see some other videos on this topic. I also thought maybe a Q&A could be kind of fun, so if you have any questions, you can leave them down below. Maybe I could answer them in a video. I'm open to ideas. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.